Hey everybody, Blaine Austin here at Sewing Machines Plus, and welcome to our Thursday live show. Everybody say good morning to Kyle. Got Big Daddy Kyle in here with me today.
Hi everyone.
And we've got a great show lined up for you today. We got Mitsy Red from Laurastar going to be here, and we're going to talk all about some irons today. So, and some special irons. I tell you, man, they got some really nice equipment and products, and we're super excited to have them on. And I'm going to talk to you about another machine special that we have. We're going to talk a little bit about the end of the show. And we just got the deal done yesterday, Kyle, and it's a pretty good. It's a good one again.
It's a good one.
We worked on this, and I'll just give you the little hint. It's with Handy Quilter. So all you quilting fans out there today, this is a great show for y'all. Not only are we going to show you some great irons to use for quilting, but we're also going to show you a machine that we got a special on, and we finally got the deal worked out yesterday, and we're going to present it today. And we're going to have a special show next Wednesday just for that. So y'all mark that down. Next Wednesday, we're going to be on with Handy Quilter. We're going to talk about this special machine. And then on Thursday of next week, I'm going to be out, but we got a special guest coming in, going to do the hosting, and she's going to actually do the whole show. And it's Belle Bruner, our friend from Arkansas. She's going to be on. Belle's going to be talking all about some of her products. She's going to talk about some projects, and she's going to talk about a Juki machine. And it's going to be a great show. So looking forward to that. So anyway, before we get started, I'm going to say a shout out to some of the SMP Nation out there. And Kyle, the light is right in the way. I can't see it at all, but you'll have to kind of scroll it down. Oh. But I think we got, is it Robbie in Omaha? We have Cheryl over in Georgia, Melissa in Oregon. We have Yvonne in California, and we have Nelda in California. So good morning to all y'all, and good afternoon. But let me tell you a little bit about some other shows that we've got planned. Now, we've got a lot going on virtual for y'all.
Yes.
There's something all the time. And here's the great thing that we're doing too. So as y'all know, we have all these virtual events planned, and you see one on your screen right there coming up August 8th and 9th. It's called From Everyday to Elevated. And that is Sandra Chandler is going to be doing that. August 29th and 30th is So Like a Designer. And that is our good friend, Katrina Walker. And then on September the 25th and 26th, we have Carrie Cunningham going to be here, and it's called Let's Make a Duster. Yep. Okay. Now, those are the three events we got coming up virtually. And you can go sign up for them right now. If you go to SMP, our website, go to SewingMachinesPlus.com. At the very top up there where it says events and classes, you can click on that. It'll take you to a landing page, and you can see all the virtual events. Now, you can go on those and click on them. You can sign up, and it's going to give you all the information. And when those are live on those dates, you can, go through the whole thing. But here's what's going to be great. We're getting ready. Even the past events that we just got finished, 2 of them, we're putting them up, and they're going to be called downloadable video classes. And here's the great thing about it. Let's say you missed the live event. Now you're going to be able to go back, sign up for this event. You're going to be able to download the list of all your supplies that you're going to need to actually do it. And then you can download that video. After you pay, you get the downloadable link. You can download the video. You'll have it forever. You can go at your own pace, take the class. So you're going to be able to do that. And we're going to be able to actually, after every one of these live events, we're going to create a library of all these classes that you can go access and pay for anytime, and then download the video and have it forever. So it's going to be a great thing. And we've already got 2 of those. The past events are already up there where you can do that. But every live event we're going to do. Now, somebody asked me yesterday, what's the advantage of going to the live event versus watching the video? The live event, you can actually ask questions and interact with the instructor. So that's the big advantage, and you don't have to wait. So, but we've had some people that, said, hey, I want to buy the event. I missed it. Can I still get it and get the video? And I said, you most certainly can. So that's available. We can't wait to get all this started and get it going really strong. So those are there. So we're going to have those. But those, I would highly recommend y'all start looking at all these virtual events. We got some really great ones lined up. And I'm super excited about those, Kyle.
Yeah.
I think it's a game changer, man.
Yes.
If you want some education. So, but we have a lot of events that we're planning, and we're adding more and more just about every other day. We're putting more events up there. And we've got virtual events scheduled all the way through, I think, if I remember correctly, March of 2026.
Yes.
Yeah. That we've got events scheduled for. So, and I'm already working on stuff that, for even after March in 2026, all the way through the end of the year next year. So we're going to try to get all those up where you can sign up ahead of time and have a lot of going on. All right. So as I said, next Wednesday, we got a special show with Handy Quilter. Y'all make sure y'all mark that down so you don't miss that show. We'll send you a text message out as well. And then on my regular Thursday, I won't be here, but Belle Bruner is going to be here. And then I'll be back the following Thursday as well. But we got a lot going on, Kyle.
Yeah.
A lot of virtual stuff.
Busy at SMP.
It is extremely busy right now. So, but today, I'm super excited to have Mitsy Red here. Now, Mitsy has been in the industry for quite a while. I've known her for a long time, and she's with Laurastar now. And, if y'all have never really investigated or looked at the Laurastar ironing systems, they are by far the best on the market. I mean, they are just, there's so many unique features about it. And, some of what they call the steam irons, it's not even a hot steam, Kyle. I don't know if you've ever seen the demonstration, but you can shoot the steam out and put your hand in front of it and it won't burn you.
Oh, okay.
So it's really cool how it works, and very impressed with all their stuff and their ironing boards and so many things they have. But we're super to have Mitsy here. So y'all give a big SMP welcome to Mitsy Red. Hey, Mitsy.
Hey, Blaine. Hi, Kyle. How are y'all doing today?
We're doing great, and super excited to have you here. Thank you for joining us. And I know the last time I saw you was at Road to California, so I'm glad you're on our show. And I know you got some great things to show them today. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'll let you get going. And then at the end, we'll come back. We'll do a little Q&A with you. And if everybody wants to hold their questions until the end, where we can see them and she can see them and answer for you. And then we got some specials for everybody today we're going to go over. So we'll let you take it away, Mitsy.
Thanks, Blaine. And again, thanks so much for having me here with you all. It's always an honor. You're right. It was Road to California the last time we saw each other, and we got to get together and do a live event sometime soon. So for myself and from Laurastar, thank you so much for having us on and letting us talk with your audience today. So as Blaine mentioned, I am Mitsy Red. I am a territory sales manager with Laurastar Irons here in the U.S. And just to give you a little fun facts about Laurastars, we've actually been active for 45 years. This year is our 45th anniversary. We were founded in 1980. We are still a family-owned company. We are still Swiss engineered and European made. So when it comes to talking about where's my product coming from and the quality of my product, I promise you, you're getting every bang for your buck when it comes to a Laurastar. And I can say that not just because I'm with the company, but I have been a Laurastar owner longer than I've worked for them. I've actually owned my own Laurastars for, I guess it's been about 4 years now. And then I came over to Laurastar back in December to be part of their team. Another fun fact, we are a team of a whole 6 people here in the U.S. that runs all of Laurastar. So what's really awesome is whether it be you at SMP or whether it's one of our consumers or customers calling us, you're going to talk to one of us. Whether it's our service technician or anyone else here on the team, you're always going to get one of us to talk to. So we are always here as your support staff. So the customer service is as top-notch as our irons are. So let me tell you a little bit about Laurastar. And in front of me, I have my beautiful top-of-the-line system. This is my Smart U. It's called a 1980 because it is the gold finish. I'll show you some of that in a moment. But this one itself, because it's our anniversary edition, it does come in another color. It comes in black also for a nice, classic, clean, sleek look as well. But what sets us apart with Laurastar, whether we're going to talk about here with my Smart U system or when I get to talk about my lift system that's behind me also, is the fact that we bring to the table something you're not going to ever see in the ironing industry. Now, I'll tell you for myself, I don't like ironing. So why would I work for an ironing company, right? Well, it's different. To me, this is not the same as ironing. We have what's called a dry microfine steam. What that means is my water, and yes, we're still using water even though I said dry, It's a twice heated steam. So the first time it heats is going to be going down into my boiler system. It heats, it comes out my steam cord, and then, and you'll hear the fan kick on once I touch my handle, it's coming out my iron. It's heated again that second time once it hits my iron. Now, Blaine mentioned seeing how close you can get to it. What makes this different is that dry steam, because most steams that you're going to find anywhere you look at an iron and they talk about the steam, it's a wet steam because it's not able to break down those particles. But check this out. I will never tell you to get that close to any other steam iron that's out there on the market. And I promise, as you'll listen to me say, I still have my fingerprints. I can still be found. I swear they're all still there because that steam is dry. So when it is coming on to me, I still have dryness there. That particles broke down so small. So what does that mean for us as quilters? And I can speak on that behalf because I am one. So whether it be quilting, garment sewing, bag making, it's going to benefit all the way across. And absolutely, even for y'all who just love to iron, not me, but for those of you who love to iron, I promise it's going to change your life. Because I can now cut down your ironing time by about half with what we bring to the table. So let's talk fabric and why an iron is important to your fabric. Now, I've been quilting for about 16, 17 years now. And I remember my first quilting class, I was told, don't get it wet. It's going to distort your fabric. And that's what happens when your fabric gets wet. You're adding in that moisture to it. It's going to change the shape of your fibers and you can distort your shapes. Well, because we have the dry microfine steam, I'm able to avoid that aspect. So let me show you on a quick demo. And don't worry, I know we're a little ways away from the camera, but I'll certainly bring it close for you to all see what's going on. So to start with, I've just got 2 pieces of cotton quilters fabric here. Okay, just stitched together 1/4 seam. Now, it doesn't matter whether you press to one side or whether you like to open your seams. Doesn't matter. You can go either direction you want. I'm going to take my Laurastar, give it a little burp there. And look at all the steam I'm adding in here to it. I'm not shying away from my steam. Now, y'all hear my fan turning on. We're going to talk about that in a second because of my board. But I want to show you that not only am I as flat as can be, but I'm also dry. I wish y'all could touch through your TV, in your video could feel this, but I'm also dry. Now I pressed to one side on this one. I can change that though. And let's say it's one of those really hard star blocks. It has a million little points to it, but I really should open my seam. It's not a problem. And you can see I'm keeping my fingers actually really close to it and I'm not getting hurt. I'm not getting burned. Now I've just pressed it open. You can see it on the back side. And look how flat that is. And I promise it's dry. Now, when I was able to press just then, I was able to do it with my hands very close. And I don't know if it'll show on the video, but if I put the steam is going to start coming out this direction because I have something special built into these amazing Smart U systems. When I pull my cover back, right here is a fan. Now, you have 2 options on that fan. The air can either be pulled down or I can have it blow it up. I'll show you why that's important in a moment. But then also with my top of the line Smart U, my Smart U 1980 and the regular Smart U, it has 4 different fan settings. So this gives you different strengths of your fan depending on what you're working with. That's my boiler kicking in. When you hear that sound, see the nice thing is I've always got hot water and steam building up in my boiler. So every time I use my system, it's automatically going to be pulling water down there into it to reheat. That means I am never going to lose steam unless my boiler is empty. Now, there will be times where I might hear my system beep, let me know I'm out of water, but it's actually my reserve tank. It's not the actual boiler. So by the time I add water into my reserve tank, I'm steaming again right away. So I showed y'all pressing. Let's talk, because again, I'm a quilter too. Let's talk applique, okay? So I just have a little fun, little hexagon done here. I do have steam on the back of it because we got to have some weight but here. But if most of you quilters are coming in and using applique, now maybe you're doing just a random applique over here now and then. Maybe you're actually doing it like the collage quiltings, beautiful collage quiltings. If we're adding a bunch of moisture into those fabrics, what we're running up against is I gotta let my fabric dry before I can add my next layer on. So it slows down my process. Well, again, this is where we cut that process out. Because of my dry steam, I can actually take my iron. I can give it the heat. I'm going to give it some steam in there. Not much, just enough. And I'm on. Now, I wish one of you were here in my studio space with me, because the first thing I'm going to do is hand this to you. And I know you're going to try to pick it off, right? So let me show you a little bit, just going with it. I'm not able to pick those edges off. I'm not, even with getting my fingernail underneath there, it's not coming up. Those edges are secured. I am secured all the way. So whether I'm going to do just a raw edge finish on this, or maybe even if it was a piece that I wanted to turn that under before I press, I could always do that too, because it's going to secure it for me. And that way I'm able to finish my applique off beautifully on that. So take a look at that, how nice it adhered it. And you saw it was only a matter of seconds that I actually added that steam onto it, because I don't need to do a lot. That steam is hot enough to handle everything, but it's still not burning me because it's dry. So one of the neat things with my system here, and I'll talk about the right temperature of that steam, is because my top of the lines in my Smart U system, Smart 1980 and Smart U, have one ideal temperature. I'm not actually having to change my temperature for anything. So let me show you a little bit about that, because I showed you with Quilter's cotton. I showed you with doing applique. Let's go to garments, because I know I've got at least one garment sewer in here. Or maybe you're like me and you avoid anything going into your closet that's going to require it to be pressed, because that's the last thing we got time to do in the morning. And I can fix that too. I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to come back to us as quilters in a moment, because I want to talk about that one ideal temperature. Now, this is 100% silk. And this is the reason the majority of us don't have silk in our closets, because it wrinkles terribly. Can I fix that? Absolutely. You remember when I said my fan has two different options? I can either blow the air up or blow the air down. Now, when I've been pressing for my quilting, I've been doing the air down. Okay, so it's pulling that heat, that steam away from me. This is a great way to show you, as garments, and I'm going to come back to quilting, don't worry, on when I change that fan to blow the air up, what that does for me and why it's a benefit. Because it seems a little different. Why would we want air blowing up from us? Well, what it's going to do is, as I put my steam into the garment, it's going to push that steam right back up. So I'm able then to get steam from both sides. So again, I'm cutting down my ironing, my pressing time drastically, because I'm letting the iron and I'm letting my board do all the work for me. So check this out. I'm going to touch the button on my handle. Watch my shirt. You see it blow up with the air? Pretty neat, right? So watch this. I am going to come in and just add steam directly onto my silk. You see me pushing it out of the way? That fan is also lifting my fabric up to where I can go along with my steam and I'm not getting any creases I'm putting into it. Now, again, this is silk. Can I press directly on silk? Well, in the past, we've always told, don't press directly on it. You're going to burn your silk. You're going to scorch it. You don't want to add water to it. Hey, I've got steam. I've got one ideal temperature. So I'm going to change my fan to pull it back down. And even in my spots here, there are still wrinkles. I can come in and iron directly onto that to take care of my wrinkles. So remember when I started, all those wrinkles are on the back of my silk? How about that now? How about that? I can start to get those right out. Very easy. The process is so quick. I didn't scorch my shirt. I didn't have to add water to it. My dry microfine steam did everything I needed to do. Sleeves. Let's talk sleeves, because it's silk again. I don't want to put a crease in a silk shirt, but I got to get these wrinkles out, especially if I'm going to wear it out, right? Because the power of the steam is so strong in my irons, what I'm actually able to do in this situation is to send a burst of steam through my sleeve, so that way it pushes that steam out, which then gets the wrinkles out because it relaxes those fibers. So watch this. I'm going to go inside my sleeve. I'm sending my steam, and my wrinkles are beginning to disappear all the way through. Now, again, let's look at it again. What about the buttons, right? I don't know about y'all, but I have taken shirts to the dry cleaners before and came back with melted buttons. And at home, we do what I call the wiggle method. We're wiggling our iron in and out around the buttons. Well, I can avoid that now too. So I'm going to take my same iron. use my powerful steam, go right along the back side of my buttons, because see, this is my buttons. Go on the back side, and those are gone. So now I can do that same steam to go ahead and take out all the wrinkles here as well as anywhere else. And again, I have just cut down my steam time drastically compared to where it would normally have been if I was trying to figure out some way to get all these wrinkles out of the silk. Okay. Does it work for cotton and everything else? Absolutely. This is the blend style shirt. And the same thing, no matter where I put on the board, I can have my fan do some of that extra work for me. You see it blow it up, I got to catch it. Even so on the end, my fan is here, but the air is going to flow all the way down. Or I can still have it pulled right back down, held in place, so that when I come in and start putting my steam in here, I can start taking those wrinkles right on out. You see how fast I'm doing that? And I'm able to continually keep that steam going because I'm holding down the steam button. Here's something neat also to know about Laurastar. All of our iron handles are done the same in one capacity. Your steam is activated by a button on either side. I can choose which one I want because our irons can be used by a righty or a lefty, no matter which one you are. I can change out my steam cord holder if I was left-handed to over here, so I have access on this side of the board to iron. No more trying to configure and wiggle around in your room to figure out where that iron fits. But I can start taking all those wrinkles right out just as easy. So let's think about this. I said one ideal temperature, right? I've used it on Quilter's cotton. I've used it on a blend. I've used it on 100% silk. I have used it on applique. What else can I use it on? Well, my quilters. Y'all hear that water flowing through because I'm steaming like crazy and we're going well. Let's talk about the fact of pressing our yardage as quilters and sewists. And the fact that because that steam is so powerful, I don't have to open my fabric all the way up to get a good press for it. As a matter of fact, I can double my fabric up. And I'm not just talking about our regular fold, right? 2 layers fold. I'm going to take it and I'm going 4. Because a lot of questions we get asked is board size. It's like a regular ironing board. It's a little bit bigger. But, you know, I like to do big quilts. How do I get my fabric all pressed? Double it over. It's very simple. Because I can now take my seam. I can come in through all 4 of those layers. I am giving it full steam ahead. And I'm letting my iron and my steam do the work. Now, one thing you'll notice is I may be a strong person, but I'm not having to put a lot of pressure and a lot of weight into this. I'm actually able to do this without too much effort. So we started here. See those wrinkles? We're ending here. Nice and pressed on all sides. If I need to give it a little extra press, no problem. I can easily flip that over and do the other side too. It's not going to harm either side. And I can just keep giving that press in there. Getting that all nice and straight. Well, what if I do need to open it up though? Well, that's fine. If you want to open it up to a single layer, I would just go ahead and take my fabric out of the way. At this point, I'm going to open it up. All of this is already pressed. If all I want to do is get my crease out of the center, I can do that. I can just come in, let the weight of the iron and that powerful steam start taking that crease right on out for me. It's that easy to do. So don't feel like, well, it's not a big enough board for me. It is. Trust me on that one. You got plenty of power there. Now, I'm going to show you one more thing on quilting, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about garments and what else the powerful steam does, as well as looking at our lift option as well. Because I understand maybe the board is not the right fit for everybody's space. We all have different studio spaces. So I want you to find the Laurastar that works and fits best for you. So let me show you one more thing as a quilter. And I have to tell you, I'm so glad before we got started today, Blaine mentioned about a special with Handy Quilter coming up, because I'm going to be talking directly to my long armers in just a minute. And so this is a really exciting thing to think about with new specials coming in. Quilt batting. It does not matter whether you get quilt batting off of a roll, fold it up in a package, however it is. It will always have creases, always. And I'm a long armer as well. It doesn't matter whether I'm pulling off my roll directly on there or whether I've got a smaller piece and I'm working a smaller project. I'm always going to end up with a crease somewhere. Oftentimes when our battings are made, there is some type of adhesive that is added to it. Because we think about some of our blends, like our 80/20s and all those. It's not every time, I know, but occasionally we're going to have that. That prevents us from being able to put our irons directly onto it because we have a chance of melting some of those fibers, especially depending on what the fibers are blended with. So how can I get these wrinkles out so I've got a nice flat surface? Well, again, here at Laurastar, we've fixed that problem as well. You remember when I showed you about my board having the fan that blows up? I'm going to touch the button here and I'm going to change that fan. I want it to blow up for me. See it going up? It's lifting my batting even, okay? Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my iron. My batting's lifted up, and I'm going to start my steam. I'm going to steam on top. I'm barely touching it. Okay. This is a blend. But I'm putting my steam into my batting. You see what's happening there? I'm going from wrinkled to no wrinkle. In my batting. And I'm just taking that right on out. Those wrinkles are gone. I've eliminated all those wrinkles that were in my batting. Now, when we're talking a smaller project, table size, something smaller like that, maybe even twin size quilts, it's easy to do on the board here. But my long armors, I told you I'm going to talk to you on this. What do we do when we were talking about those big size batting pieces or those big quilt backings? I can solve that problem. Because one thing I showed you here is how we're doing with our board, right? We're looking at a full built-in system. My boiler is down below. My iron is all connected. This is an all-in-one system. My top of the line, my Smart U. This may not be the right fit for everyone. Maybe it's a space situation. Maybe they just don't need this big of an iron setup. The fan's not the most important thing to them, but they love that dry microfine steam. And long armors, pay attention to this one. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to put this out of the way for a moment. And I'm going to bring up something a little different here. See if I can do this without hitting light. Whoops. We knew that was going to happen. We can't do everything just perfect. I'm going to hold this up here first, and then I'm going to take it down so we can see how it looks. This right here, this part of my system here, this is my lift. I have the lift extra in the color of Titan is what I have here. It's a kind of a charcoal, matte charcoal gray. This product actually lifts directly out of my accessory, which is my steam cart. You'll see it's on wheels. I'm going to put it down in front here in just a minute so you can see more of it. What this does for me is it takes the same power of my dry microfine steam that's in my iron here, my Smart U, and I'm now in a compact motion. It's the exact same on my irons. I'll show you on this one too. These are both the Active 3D Soleplate. It's an all aluminum Soleplate. Now this is not on, so you see me touch a little bit more than what I would do on that one because it is not actively on right now. But now I have a mobile option. Okay, long armors, hope your ears have perked up and you're listening to what I'm fixing to say. What about instead of you having to iron your backings on a board, you did it right on the frame? Think about that for a second. I'll tell you a funny story. I used to do what I called the press and pray method. I pressed my backings on my boards and I prayed I got it rushed over there to my frame before it wrinkled again. And if you're like me, usually something's going to stop me along the way and we're getting wrinkled again. Even once I'm starting to load my backing, I end up with creases and wrinkles in it. Now, I skip the whole board aspect and I go straight to my long arm. Obviously, my machine is pushed out of the way on one side or the other. And I start loading up my backing. As I load my backing, and I'll show you because it's steam here, I can steam directly across it to take out all those wrinkles and the creases. I can go straight down my 12, I have 12-foot long arm. I can go straight down it because I am now mobile on wheels and I'm cruising down in front of my long arm as I load my backing. Get it low, pinned up, however you load your long arms or however you load your back and get started. And then I'm steaming away as I continually roll it up. Remember the batting? Do it with your batting too. Because like I said, even if you use those big rolls of batting, there is still going to be wrinkles and creases that occur on it. So take your batting, bring it up, steam it as well. Do the same with those tops. You know, I know I try to do a good job with mine because I'm the one who's doing them, but sometimes we get tops to us that look like they just got watered up and thrown in the bag. Let me help you cut your time down and your effort and your frustrations of getting that top loaded. Because you can do the same thing. All 3 layers you can do right there on the long arm instead of having to take it to your board and then take it back and forth. Okay, so I can cut down your time that you're actually spending on your long arm drastically by that. But what else can this thing do? Now, let me tell you, I love my lift also because there's a couple of other options. It has the same dry microfine steam you're seeing here on my board. But what that also means is all of our steams are a 99% hygienic steam. I can take it anywhere in my house and use it to sanitize. So here's a food for thought. You know, 5 years ago, we were all living in a world of craziness. How great would it have been to have your steam to be able to sanitize when you needed to? Okay, whether it be your mask, clothing, whatever it was. I steam my mattresses with this because guess what? I can't throw my mattress in a washing machine to clean it, but I can steam it. So I can take this along with me and I can go steam my mattress anywhere I need to go. So I can take it there. You want to talk about steam mattresses? My job, I travel a lot. I live out of a hotel as much as I live out of my home. If I'm driving and not flying, this goes into the back of my car because when I get to those hotels, I can steam my mattresses. I can steam my pillows, whatever I need, shower curtains, whatever I want to do. As a matter of fact, I head out today for a weekend in Delaware for a baseball tournament with my youngest son. And guess what's going in the car after the event, after we get done here? My lift, because we're taking that to the hotel. Plus, him being an athlete, guess what? His cleats, I can steam his cleats. I can't promise it's going to cut down all the odors because he's a 15, soon to be 16-year-old baseball player, but it will help. He's a catcher. The inside of his gear, that's the fabric side, I can steam that and cut down from some of the odors from his sweat. But here's one of the best parts with this I do also. I'm a pet lover. I have a house full of pets. They are part of the family. I do not kick my pets and not allow them on the furniture. You do it perfectly fine. It's just not how it works in my house. I think they run the house anyway. But what I can do is I can have them get them off the sofas. I can go in with my roller, get rid of any of the hair, and then I come in and steam it. I take that hygienic steam to the sofa. What that is going to do for me then is I'm going to cut down on my dust mite, my dander, and my odors. Yes, even pet odors I can cut down on. But remember I said about that 15-year-old boy? You want to talk odors? He's an athlete. Come on now. I've got 2 boys. My 18-year-old is my brainchild. My 15-year-old is the athlete. Either way, they still smell. So, tell you a funny story. If you ever see me on a show floor, you're going to hear the same story. My 15-year-old goes to a private high school. Now, that is dress shirts, slacks, ties, sports coats from, let's see, October 1 through May 1. If I had to take, we'll just say sports coats alone, I had to take his sports coats to the dry cleaners at the level they should be. If I didn't have my Laurastar, I'd be spending a fortune in my dry cleaning bill. So I've actually been able to cut down on my dry cleaning because of Laurastar. Let me show you that. And here's the funny part. I literally, before we started here, walked back there, grabbed a jacket that was wadded up in the bottom of his closet because he hasn't even had on since May 1. Do you think it's been cleaned? No, it was missing in the back of his closet. Okay. Sports coats, right? So think about this, whether it be your kids, your husband, whoever has to wear dress up sports coats. When I'm on show floors, I got to have, dress jackets, etc. Wrinkled as can be, whether it be the inside or the outside. Now, I'm glad he's not watching this to see I'm showing off his messiness. I'm going to give my iron a little burp. It's been sitting for just a second, and it is still steam, so the condensation can build up. Give it a little bit here. Now, I can steam directly. I can do vertical steaming too. The sleeves, the jacket. I can turn it around. Now, y'all may have noticed I raised up the handle here on my steam cart. It's adjustable, so depending on height I want to go with. Steam the back. And I'm going directly on that garment. Let's get this sleeve done also. Collar. All the way across. And let's do the inside even too. Especially those armpits. Because they are boys. Sorry, Blaine and Kyle. You know it's true. But there you go. I took care of his sports coat. And I can avoid a dry cleaning bill because I do this once a week with his. If I'm home Sundays, I get jackets and we steam whatever he wore through on the week. I've been able to cut down my dry cleaning bill drastically. And that makes a huge difference in what we're able to do. And a huge difference in all my expenses with him because he's expensive anyway. But having that cart, you see I'm on wheels. I can move this wherever I need. I can take that wherever I want with my lift in there. Now, I showed y'all using my Smart U because it's what's powered on right now. But normally I would just bring my line up for my lift sitting right back down there like I showed you. And I can make those adjustments and those changes to my height here, what's comfortable. And I'm able to steam directly there. Now, because I'm in the cart and I'm mobile, I'm on wheels, I'm going to take that anywhere in my house. I mentioned the mattresses. Do your pillows. I sleep on one of those cooling pillows with the gel. You can't take those and throw them in the wash, but I can steam it. I'll take it, like I mentioned, the sofas, because that's where the dogs are at, right? Anywhere that you can take that steam to clean up, to make it more hygienic, do it. Curtains. I don't even take my curtains down anymore. I just go inside of my curtain and I steam directly out. That knocks off any dust, anything like that. Freshens it up. So I've now been able to come in and take my iron. I've shown you a couple things here. I've shown you from a quilter standpoint. I've shown you with sewing fabrics. I've shown you from a regular garment standpoint. I've shown you from a hygienic standpoint. I haven't talked about bag makers yet. And I want to touch on bag makers because this can make a huge difference in your project. Now, I'm a baby when it comes to bag making. I am learning my way through it. But because of my Laurastar, I've been able to gain some confidence in what I'm doing. All of our Laurastars, no matter which model, are going to come with a specialty plate that clips onto the bottom of it. What this does is it's going to drop my temperature by about 100 degrees based off of what my plate is setting. Now, I mentioned I've got my Lift Extra down here in my steam cart, and of course, this is my Smart U system. These all are what's considered a one ideal temperature, okay? Think of it roughly about a 400-degree temperature plate. But there are certain aspects with bag making, such as vinyl and other products, to where that heat would still be too much. So as a bag maker, if I could bring you an iron to help you through bag making, wouldn't that make your life easier? I'm going to take my specialty plate here. I'm going to clip it right here on the bottom. It clips right on my iron. I'm going to let it warm up. It's a little cool in my room here. Thank goodness, because we're steaming like crazy. I'm going to let it warm up. Now, there is a little bit of a gap, and I'm talking very minuscule, between that plate and my actual iron base. And that's what's going to be bringing that temperature down, okay? So then I can take it and I can put it on those items that maybe I'm concerned about. Now, I mentioned bag makers with vinyl. But even as garment sewers, there's certain types of fabrics that we're coming in with, like the costuming fabrics, the tools, the things like that, that you might be a little concerned about. Is it going to melt if I put it on there? That's where the benefit of the plate comes in. Now, that plate is not going to change my steam. It's not going to affect the steam at all. I'm only changing the temperature of what is actually touching my item. So let me give you a quick demonstration on that. Vinyl. Okay. Told you, let's bag makers, let's talk. Look at my roll here, right? It's always going to come in, and if I let it go, it's going to start trying to roll itself right back up. When we're looking at bag making, we have a vinyl section in it, vinyl pouch. We want that as nice and flat as can be. And what happens in the previous is you've tried to get it out, and you've worked it, and you've laid stuff on it all night, and you try to work out the creases, you try to work out everything with it, and it takes a while. Because even now, I'm still trying to get this curl up here on the edges. Because my iron is warming up, okay, and I can touch it, I'm going to set my iron on that vinyl. Now, funny story, I've been at shows before doing this demonstration, and I had one lady go, please just move it, you're scaring me. I'm not going to leave it on there forever. I'm not going to melt my vinyl. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start warming my vinyl. Can you see? I know it's vinyl, it's hard to see. Can you see the difference? You see how that's softening versus trying to stay curled up again? Right there's where my iron's at. All I'm doing is giving a little bit of heat on there to soften my vinyl up, but I'm not melting it. Because of that accessory plate that comes with our irons, I've now been able to come in and get rid of that curl. See, look at the difference. We'll do it from this side. Hopefully you guys can see it there. I've got a curl that's taking place over here. I'm nice and flat on this side. And that is what makes the difference, because I can use that extra accessory plate in order to look at those specialty items and garments. This is a waterproof canvas, also bag makers. Absolutely love this one. Found this at Road to California, actually, Blaine. And on this, you see, again, it's going to curl up. How am I going to get it to hold really nice and flat and straight? Well, again, I can use my accessory plate on it. Now, the thing to keep in mind, whether I'm talking about the vinyl or whether I'm talking about this waterproofed canvas, my steam is not going to affect it. If I put steam on vinyl, it's just going to send it right back at me. So I'm only using the warmth of my iron in order to soften those fibers, or that combination, in order to do it. But I did find out one quick thing. I'm going to take my accessory plate off. Learned this at Road to California, because I'd never used this product before. And I went to the vendor and I said, you know, I'll buy some for it. Let me just try some and see if it works, and I'll let you know. Again, it's a waterproof canvas. So when I put steam into it, the steam's not going to go anywhere, right? I'm going to have a little bit of buildup. But you see how stiff it is? If I give it a little fold there where I want it to go, and I get a little burst, I'm softening my canvas. Fun fact, on this particular model of iron, my Smart Use, I have a pulse option. So I'm going to change it to pulse. So instead of me holding it down the whole time, you hear it pulsing? I've now added some steam into this. I have softened my waterproof vinyl. I can finger press it in there. I can go take this over with my zipper to my sewing machine, put that in there, and I promise you, your machine and your needle are going to be a lot happier with you for what you just put through it. Okay? When it dries or warms, but comes out from being so warm, cools back down, however you want to look at it, the stiffness that was original to that waterproof canvas comes right back. So you're going to have it come right back where you were. So we've looked at, we've looked at bag making. We did garments. We did quilters. There was one part of quilting I wanted to bring back to you that I don't want to forget about, because it's my arch nemesis of the quilting world. Let me show you. So I mentioned I'm a quilter. I've been quilting about 16 years now. I learned how to quilt when I was living in the beautiful state of Alaska. And I love the cutting aspect. I really do enjoy the cutting, the designing, the cutting. Piecing, I love quilting. I love seeing everything until binding. Yep, I'm one of those. I hate binding. And the reason I've always hated binding was because until I had my Laurastar, I couldn't get a good crisp binding. You know, you want a really nice flat edge. And I was running into the situation like with a regular iron that I wasn't getting that. Let me show you how that actually looks. I'm going to do a double fold. So I'm folding over my fabric twice. If I'm doing this with a regular iron, just regular heat, because remember, we don't want to get our fibers wet. So regular irons, I'm not going to use a steam on it because that's a wet steam. So I'm just going to do this with just the heat, the one ideal temperature heat. I'm going to come in and put a press. Let me go back on it twice. Do you see it popping up? I didn't touch it. I can try to put it back into place. So I'm going to pop up. Okay, so look at that, how that pops right back up. Let me do the same thing with the steam though, and you'll see the difference. Double fold again. I'm going to turn my pulse off because I don't want to go full steam ahead. And I'm going to steam that in there. Do you see it popping up? No, you see the backside popping up. Look at that. This is my double fold using the steam. You can't even hardly tell it with the color. And this is just my hot iron popping up. So I always laugh and I say it's my fat binding versus my thin binding, because I can easily then take my quilt sandwich, slide it directly in here, and it's still holding and securing in place. And that's one of the most important things for me. And it's actually made binding a much more pleasurable experience. If we can talk binding being pleasurable, we won't talk about how many unfinished quilts I have that literally just need binding. But that way it makes a difference on there as far as how I'm finishing my projects. I'm getting crisper seams. I'm getting cleaner seams. Let me mention one other thing about quilts that I want to bring to your attention. As quilters, whether you have your own quilt or whether you've got vintage quilts, anything like that, one of the things we're always told to do is every few months, you're going to take your quilt, you're going to unfold it, and then refold it. My quilts are all loved and all used. All right. We use all the quilts, but I don't want to have to rewash them every time I've been folding them. So what I do is I just take my quilts, throw them on my bed. I take my lift. I give my quilts a fresh steam. It's going to get rid of some of the closet odors and the little dust bunnies and all that to it, and then refold it, because in the process, I also took out those creases that were in my quilt from being stored in a closet. So when we look at Laurastar, I think one of the key points I want you to remember is the fact that it's not just an iron. It's an iron. It's got hygienic steam. It's going to cut your ironing time in half. You can take it throughout your house and you can steam with it. You can cut back on your dust mites, your dander, your odors. It's mobile. You can take it with you anywhere you go. Take it to your long arm. Go use it at the long arm as well. The possibilities of what you can do with your Laurastar are really infinite. And every time I see a new video or someone posting them what they do with their Laurastar, I'm always impressed. And I'm like, I didn't think about that. So I'll leave you with one funny story, and then Blaine, I'll have you come back in. I told you guys I had two boys, right? 18 and 15-year-olds. My 18-year-old is fixing to go off to college. And I have to brag, Penn State, right? We're going Penn State. We were doing the dorm tours last fall, and they made the comment with dorm sizes that don't bring an ironing board. There's no room for it. And my 18-year-old leaned over and bumped me, and he's much taller than I am, leans over, and goes, "Hey, Mom, I'll have the coolest iron there, won't I? I guess I'm getting a Laurastar." And I laughed and I said, "Yep, you're getting a Laurastar. Take your Laurastar. Go steam everybody's dorm mattresses. Go steam all their lab coats." He's going to chemistry. Go do it. Earn your way through college with your Laurastar. Save your mom some tuition payments. So I'll leave you guys with that. And I'm more than happy to stay and answer any questions you've got coming on. So Blaine, let's hear any questions y'all came up with or anything I can help with, because I know you have the best deals always when it comes time to do our Laurastars.
We sure try. So if anybody's got any questions for Mitsy right now, go ahead and put them in the chat. And while we got her here, we'll get her to try to answer them for you. But hey, great demonstration. I got to tell y'all something funny too. My wife, Michelle, absolutely hates to iron. And
yes,
I had years ago, I'd bought one of those steam generator irons with one of those really wide ironing boards and all that. Well, we might as well just throw that in the garbage because it's never been used. But I bought her a steamer, just a handheld steamer, and so that's what she uses. But she hates the iron. She just texted me a while ago. She goes, "I hate iron," but she goes, "Mitsy makes me want to buy one."
So we've talked about this before, Blaine. It's time to make it happen for her. Well, what's
I thought that was so funny coming from her. She's wanting an ironing board.
How many you've gone through. Think about this. In that short time, how many irons you've gone through. The nice thing about Laurastar is we are working to make your throwaway products obsolete. We guarantee we're going to make replacement parts and pieces for at least 10 years. So if I come in and, like, for example, I'll pull the water tank off of this one. If I'm taking it over to my sink and I drop it and I crack it, I can order you a new water tank. You didn't just lose your whole iron. So that's one of the key things is you're buying a product that is going to last you for so long. And I know you've been around on the show floors with us before, and people look by all the time and go, "I love my Laurastar." Yep. I had one lady told me she's had her for 24 years. 24. So that ought to tell you a lot right there.
Yeah, they're great products. We do have a question. Joyce is asking, can you use this on suede?
Joyce, I would always tell you to be very careful and test the spot first. Now, the part I would guide you towards is, of course, using the Teflon plates. because the fact we're going to drop that temperature. You know, suede and leathers are a tough product to work with in general. And, you know, it really depends on what you're looking for. If you're trying to just kind of freshen things up, I would just kind of hold my iron back and let the steam do the work for you. You don't want to put directly on there, but if you had to get a little bit closer, use your Teflon plate, give it a little extra layer of protection.
All right. We got another question. It says, does it use distilled water only?
I am so glad someone asked that question, because the answer is no distilled water. There's actually one product in the whole Laurastar line that uses distilled water, and it's not any of our irons. So for water, you actually use your regular city tap water. Okay. There's the caveats to that. If you're on a well, so you're not city, you're on a water well, or if you are on city water and you have really hard water, maybe you got a water softener on your home, get bottled spring water, but never distilled. Distilled takes all the minerals out, and our boilers actually need those minerals. So you always want to avoid distilled. If you put distilled water in there, you're probably get the iron spinning a little bit because it's not the boiler's not able to work to its full functionality. So go with bottled spring water or use your own tap water, because it does have filters in our systems to filter out the bad stuff.
All right. Diane's asking, is there an automatic shutoff?
Yes. And for those of you who hate the automatic shutoff, I have a way to override it. All of our systems, once you're got them turned on, if you haven't touched it for about 10 minutes, it's going to shut itself off. Now, the nice thing is it's going to stay hot for about an hour as far as the boiler is concerned, so it doesn't take long to reheat it. But if you're like me and I start mine up and then I go to my machine and I am piecing and I don't realize how long I've been over there, and I come back and you go, oh no, it's off. That auto shut off, like I said, is going to cut off within about 10 minutes of turning it on. Or, here's the big secret, if you hold the power button down, keep pressing the power button till all the lights flash on there, you just overrode the auto shut off. It's going to stay hot until you power it off. Here's my caution. It's going to stay hot until you power it off. Don't ask me if I've left mine on for 2 or 3 days. We're not going to talk about it because I didn't notice it was still on. Your irons do rest on these silicone plates on the board here, and even my lift do have a removable silicone plate, so everything was protected. But yes, there is an auto shut off, and there is a way to override it.
All right, Linda says, what is the warranty?
Perfect. All of our systems come with at least a 1-year warranty, but a lot of our dealers do get a full 2-year warranty on there. So, Blaine, you guys can get a full 2-year warranty when they buy directly from you.
All right. All right. See, now we got another question. It says, how do you clean the sole plate if you use starch?
Perfect question. And actually, what you might find is you don't need to use starch. I've actually cut down using starch. And I was telling you about the 15-year-old boy that smells? Well, let me tell you what. He also has eczema, and he gets it in his elbows. Because of the hygienic steam, I've been able to cut out using starch, which then is causing less issues on his arms with his eczema because we're not adding any additional chemicals into his dress shirts. So you might find yourself cutting down using starch. But that's a great question. We have a product called the Iron Soleplate Cleaning Mat. Okay. And I'll open this one because it's one of mine anyway. I always keep the box. I'm going to lose it otherwise. But let me show you exactly how that works. The mat is coarse. All right. It's got a rough texture to it. Now, I do this when I clean mine. I usually do it once my iron is almost completely cool or as it's just starting to warm. It's hot right now. I can still show you. I'm not going to be doing any harm to it. It's just going to hook on like this is hooking on this side. I'm going to do it on this side because that's what's closest to me. And then all I'm doing is just brushing my iron against that mat. Think of it like we're using a scrubbing pad, right? So I'm just going to do that on there. Back and forth, you can do it. It's going to start cleaning up and taking off any of those little crusty or corroded places. So if you get starch on there, where it kind of gets a buildup of starch, or maybe it's, you're using a fusible and the fusible come through, or you touched it, that same thing. Use that Soleplate cleaning mat, and that's going to take care of it for you. Great question.
All right, let's see if we got another one coming up. Janice is asking, garment sewing, how low should you stay on?
How long should it stay on to be ready to use?
You're ready to use.
Yeah. There we go. You hear that?
I see the question. Garment sewing. How long should
Okay.
it stay on to be ready to use? Most of our irons, by the time you power them on, because the water feeds in that boiler and it's heating up, you're looking anywhere from about 8 to 10 minutes, depending on the system. These take like closer to 10. My lifts take more like around 7 to 8. So what I do, great question, Janice. When I come in my studio, I turn my iron on. Now, I mentioned I do my overrides, but it does stay on and stay hot. And turn it on. Within those few minutes, it's going to beep. It's going to let me know I'm ready to go. And I am ready to roll the whole time, all day long. Just, Janice, remember to turn it off. Don't be like Mitsy. Turn it off at the end of the day. We've all done it.
All right. Says, does it have the attachments to steam cabinet doors?
So great question. This particular models, the two that I showed you, do not. However, we do have a product. It's actually in the box here. So let me show it to you. And Blaine, y'all can order these in too. This is what is called my Izzy Plus. The difference between my Izzy Plus and my Lift, they're the same size. This has a wand style handle versus an iron handle that's on the regular lifts. So if you're looking at doing more hard surfaces as a cleaning purpose and tool, go the Izzy Plus. Again, same size. You can put it in a steam cart, just like I showed you guys on my Lift. But this one has the handle and it's got an attachment. So you can go do your cabinets, you can do your countertops, anywhere, hard surfaces that take steam. This is your product. So go the Izzy Plus.
All right, great question. Okay, Robbie says, will it work with Wonder, the 805 Wonder?
Wonder Under. Yeah.
And then is it better than a regular steam iron
as it fuses? Great question, Robbie. And the answer is yes. Any of your fusible, it's going to work beautifully with. If it's like sometimes like with the Wonder Under, you don't want to necessarily use the steam. You're using more just the heat. The heat of the iron is going to be perfect for that. You can still use a burst of the steam just to give that extra connection, because remember, the steam is dry. It's not a wet steam. So adding that extra, it's like an extra burst of heat almost is coming onto it. I've absolutely used it with my Wonder Under, all of my fusibles that I use for any garment sewing. I'm a wannabe garment sewer working on it, but I've tested out with plenty of fusibles and I'm good to go there as too. So the difference between like the regular steam iron and this comes down that dry microfine steam. So whereas your regular irons think of it as a wet steam. I would never want you to put your hand near that iron, that steam, like I did with mine, because I know what happens. We've all been burned by a regular iron, the steam and the water starts spitting. We know what happens. We get some pretty nasty burns with that. This is dry. So I'll get a quick burp here for a second. That's just in case there's any condensation. But look at that again. Is it hot? Sure. It's hot. I'm not going to touch the plate directly, but I can get closer to it because it's a dry steam versus it being that wet steam. That's what makes the big difference for you when it comes down to fusing and anytime you're wanting to use a steam aspect. Great question, Robbie.
Yeah, that was a good one. All right, next one is from Vicky. Says, I have a lift. What ironing board can I get for it?
So I will always want to direct you to our Laurastar boards. We have a wonderful selection of boards. I like the fact that they are certainly sturdy and solid. Ours fold up really nicely. Some of our models actually have wheels on the end of it. So when you fold it upright, it's easy to push. You're not having to carry. One of the questions we get asked a lot is if I have a lift, will it fit onto a board that has a fan into it? And sadly, the answer at this point is no. It's a different complete system, a smart use system versus the lift. But here at Laurastar, we have plenty of boards that you can pick and choose from. But if you've got a board you already love, I'm never going to shy you away from it. So it can be used on any ironing board itself. The thing I want you always to remember is when you're working with our lift, compared to when I'm working with my smart system here, that fan does take that steam away from my fingertips. So I'm a little bit safer on that. So anytime you use your lift on a board, if you're not sure how the board's going to react, please use a little caution and test it out to see how that steam is going to flow. Is it going to be able to go, is your board, enough metal grating style that it's going to be able to push that steam through, or that steam would have to come out the side? And you'll want to adjust using it depending on how that steam is going to work for you. Great question.
Another question from Donna is asking, how often do you change out those anti-scale cartridges?
Oh, awesome question. Each cartridge should last you about 3 to 6 months. That all depends upon your water usage and, of course, your usage as far as the iron itself. Now, on my smart systems here, and I'll pull my tank back off, you'll hear it beep because it's telling me that my tank is missing. My cartridge is right here on mine. Now, this is a pretty new cartridge. I've only got a little bit of color change on the bottom because I do use mine almost every day. This one itself, it's a brand new cartridge on the Smart Use system, is going to be a really nice charcoal blue-gray color. Once that cartridge, you see that cartridge is going to really yucky yellow brown, just gross looking, time for a change. Again, about 3 to 6 months is what you're going to get on it. On my lifts and my Izzy Plus, those cartridges are solid. Now I'm going to show you this box. This is the box I have. Our cartridge has changed just slightly, so don't be alarmed if your cartridge looks a little more cylindrical than this. But it is a solid surface around it. You can't see when that filter changes color. However, on those particular models, the lift as well as the Izzy Plus, they all have an indicator that is actually on the iron. It's going to light up red, and that is your indicator. It's time to change your cartridge. So we try to make it as easy as possible for you in order to do that. Great question.
And hey, Mitsy, one of the things I was going to ask you too, it also depends like how often you're using your iron plus the water where you're at, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, my city water might be really great crystal clear compared to your city water, which could have a lot of still hardened minerals in it because everybody's area is different as far as what they can qualify for as being allowed in city tap waters. So the harder the water, the more that cartridge is going to have to work. So you may wear a cartridge out more at that 3-month period versus mine may last up to 6 months.
Okay. All right. Georgette has got one. It says, is the ironing board the only difference between the two different ones you've showed us?
Great question, Georgette. In a sense, yes. I mean, the board makes a huge difference in it because this one obviously has the fan in it. Your dry microfine steam is exactly the same. Both irons offer a pulse steam option. The fan is what makes the big difference here. Plus the fact, one feature I didn't show you on my board, my Smart U, is it has what's called Sense Steam. So I don't even have to hold the buttons down in order for my steam to work. Okay, so it's just an extra electronic feature that is available on my Smart U systems. But as far as the steam, what that steam is going to do for you, they're exactly the same. Our steam is consistent no matter which model you're looking at. The 2 models I showed you with my Smart U, my Lift Extra, those also are all one ideal temperature. The plate on the iron is exactly the same. So everything is going to be consistent across the board for you. It's just a matter of, do you want it with the built-in board and fan, or do you want to be more mobile and take it with you? Great question, Georgette.
All right. Next question is, can you use a pressing cloth?
Sure, absolutely. You may not need to, but it's perfectly fine.
Okay. A lot of questions. This is great. Kathy's asking, does it work well for blocking knits?
I think it does. Now, I will tell you, Kathy, I don't do a whole lot with knits, but from what I've been told for people who do use it, they've had good luck with it. Because the fact that steam is still softening those fibers without distorting them, I think that's where it's coming across that they're having success with it. I don't work a lot with knits other than when I'm pressing my own for clothing and stuff like that. But for coming in and when you're doing your knitting and you're blocking it, and you're making sure your positioning is right. For what little I have done, I've had good success with it.
All right. Another question from Robbie says, what is the difference between the lift models?
Yeah, great question, Robbie. There's actually 3 different models within our lift system. So one of the easiest ways to think about it, and we always describe it, is think of your sewing machines. You have a top of the line, a mid-range, and a base range on your sewing machines. So all of them have one thing that's super consistent: dry microfine steam. That's going to be the same no matter which model you go through. My very basic, my lift, which we call the Lift Original, it comes in color red or white. That particular model, the iron, where I showed these were the 3D active Soleplate, that has like the regular holes. So it's going to be more of a stream of steam versus a curtain of steam. Then when you move up to our Lift Plus, you're getting back to that 3D active Soleplate. However, it's a different kind of ridge than the top of the lines are. And then as you move up, of course, my top of the lines are always going to have more features, right? So the big things that separate my Lift Extras from my Lift Plus, you have a steam cord holder. It's similar to this one. This is the one that's built in on my smart system. It also has pulse steam. You've got one ideal temperature on there. So there's just a couple of little extra features that you're getting when you go to Lift Extra. And a lot of times the price points aren't that big difference, because here's a little hint. The steam cord holder that comes in the box with the Lift Extra that you can put on your own ironing board is about an $80 accessory. Well, you're already getting it in the box there. It's already coming along. Plus, you're adding in all those extra features. So price point wise, usually the Lift Extra is always going to be your better price point. It's going to give you the most features. It just really comes down to what all features do you want. And let's be honest, color. They all come in different colors. So if sometimes there's those colors that I was like, I've got to have that color. But either way, you're still going to have fantastic dry microfine steam no matter which model you go with. So thanks for the question, Robbie.
Awesome. All right. Lisa's asking, please explain how it can sanitize mattresses if the temperature of the seam does not reach 212.
Yeah, Lisa, great question. When we talk about coming through and doing a sanitizing or cleaning on our mattresses or any of our products, what we're doing is we're coming in at a layer with it. I'm not going to be able to go down all the way through my mattresses course. We're talking more about the top level of it. And it may not provide the perfect sanitization, because if the 212 is the magic number, and I have to tell you, Lisa, I can't think of what the exact number of ours gets to right now. It's halfway through the day here where I'm out on the East Coast, so it's time for coffee number 3. But with it itself, what I'm doing is I'm coming through and I'm doing more where I'm killing my dust mites and my dander and doing some deodorization on it. So you're getting some type of a sanitizing, but you're cutting out those dust mites and dander more than anything on those mattresses and pillows. And that can certainly help, because that will cut down those things that are causing us as irritants in our lungs and what we're breathing in, and the irritants on our skin too. So it'll do a little bit of that also for you.
All right. Next up is Teresa says, tank cleaning, self-cleaning, how to clean.
I love it, Teresa. One of our favorite questions. Both of our systems, whether we're talking about the Lift or the Smart systems, are super easy to take care of. One time per month. Mark it on your calendar. That's what I do. Before you turn your system on, you're going to empty out your boiler tank. In my big systems, when you open the box, there's a white tray that fits in there, or that's in the box. It slides directly under my boiler. Again, you're doing this when everything is cold. Do not do it when it's hot. I am removing my tank. I'm opening a valve on the top. I'm taking off the valve on the bottom. I'm going to flush out everything that's in that boiler system. Okay. If you're setting up right, it's very easy to do. Dump my water, take my valves, tighten everything back up, fill my water tank, and let it refill. On my lifts, let me grab it here and I'll show y'all. Okay. On my lifts, I'll just get my iron out of the way because it's right down here. There is my cord's wrapped around here, but there is a little rubber seal here that pops up. This particular valve, I can use a screwdriver or I can use a quarter and go in there and open it and bring it out. Before I do that, I'm taking this over to the sink, give it a slosh, take that out, dump it over, pour out any water that's being held in my boiler, close it back up. Same thing I'm doing with the other one. I'm closing it up. My tank's on this side. I'm refilling my tank, powering it on, letting it pull that water. Now, anytime your boilers are actually empty, when you first refill, it's going to pull pretty much all the water out of your reserve tanks, and it's going to ask you to refill that water. It's always keeping a consistent flow going as you're using the iron and steaming. That way, you're always getting great hot sanitizing steam all the way through. So great question. Once a month, I make it as easy as possible on you for cleaning.
All right. Linda's got another question. It says, how long does the water last in the boiler?
It can last a long time, Linda, and it really comes down to you. So I'll give you an example. When I am quilting, when I actually get a full day of quilting, so I'm famous for going in the studio about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning and not coming out about 8, 9 o'clock at night. Somebody better deliver me dinner for sure. I can go and I can be using on my smart system here, and I'm probably going to refill my reserve tank maybe twice the whole day. Maybe it holds about 38 ounces of water. So maybe that often. It really comes down to how much you're using it, but you're getting a very long time. I mean, I'm in there 10, 12 hours when I get a full studio day. So it's going to last me quite a while. So having to refill it twice is kind of almost pushing it that I have to even do it that much, because that water is broken down to such a fine steam. I'm not having to refill the same way I would if it was a regular iron. When I've had to use a regular iron in the hotels or anything like that, I'm having to add water, add water, add water because it's pushing through that wet steam. I don't run into that on this side.
All right. Any more questions, Kyle? Wow, that was good Q&A session, Mitzi.
Great questions. Love it.
It really was. All right. Well, Mitzi, thank you so much for spending the time with us today and going over all that and answering all the questions. We're going to tell them how they can get one. And hopefully we'll see you again on here real soon.
Hey, anytime, Blaine. Always happy to join you guys. It's always a pleasure. Thank you to everybody who joined us and questions. You know, Blaine, if anything else comes through, y'all don't know, shoot me a message. I'll get you taken care of.
All right. Sure will. Thank you for coming on. Talk to you soon.
Bye, guys. Take care.
All right, everybody. We're going to talk a little bit about the two irons that she went over today. And the very first one, Kyle's going to put that up there. Actually, we got more than one or two, don't we? Yeah, this is all the different ones. So the lifts, this is the Laurastar lift irons. Now, again, the normal MSRP on this is $9,999. Huh? I mean, 900. What did I say? 9,000? Yeah. $999. But we have them starting at $799. And again, we are going to throw in for free that Soleplate Cleaning Mat that she demonstrated, like to get all that starch off your sole plate or any kind of residue or anything. We're going to throw in one of those absolutely free with either one of the purchases, and you can get your colors there. So I got two different colors to choose from. Give us a call at 800-401-8151. Tell them tell whoever you talk to that you saw this on the show today, that you want the show special, and they're going to actually help you out. Let's go to the next one, Kyle. All right, this is the Smart 1980. Now, this is the smart ironing system. And again, normal price on this is $37.99. We got it for $31.99. And again, we're going to throw in that Soleplate Cleaning Mat with this. And I tell you what, I've used one of these, and the steam on it just kind of blows your mind. Again, it's that dry steam, and you think, normally steam, you can't even touch it when it's that wet steam because it gets so hot. This is hot, but it doesn't have the moisture, so it doesn't burn you. It's so crazy how it works. And but great ironing system. This one is a big favorite. We sell a ton of these. Everybody loves this one. And again, great price on it right now, $31.99. Throwing in free Soul Plate. And again, give them a call. Tell them you're interested in the Smart 1980. You want to know all the call-in special. 800-401-8151. All right, next up is the Smart U. And again, starting at $3,099. Again, we're going to throw in that Soleplate Cleaning Mat with it. And again, I like this color, by the way. It's really, in person, it really is sleek looking. I really like the looks of this one. Again, give them a call for this one. The next one that we're going to go over is the Smart I, and it is $23.99. And again, throwing in that Soleplate cleaning system with this. And the final one that we're going to talk about is the S Pure Extra, $2,099. Again, we're going to throw Soleplate cleaning mats with every single iron today. And again, if y'all want to just see the difference, you can read about the differences between each one of these that we've just shown you. Again, you can go to SewingMachinesPlus.com. In the search bar at the top, just type in Laurastar. It's going to take you to, and you'll be able to see all the Laurastar products, and you can see all the ones we've had today. But again, if you just want to know the differences too between each one, just give them a call at the call center, 800-401-8151, and they're going to be able to walk it through it. But, I think Mitzi said it the best. It's kind of like, your sewing machines. You've got a base model sewing machine, you've got a mid, level, and then you have that top of the line. That's the way these are. All the steam features are the exact same, but they just have some features to the iron that makes them, differentiate each one, each model. And you'll be able to, we can help you out with that by answering your questions, or you can just go to the website and read about it. But hey, I encourage you to just get on the phone and call if you're interested in any of the Laurastar irons that we've shown on the screen and ones that she demonstrated. Get on the phone and give them a call about it. Because I tell you, These are just fantastic products. And I tell you what, they're the best on the market by far, and wouldn't even hesitate a bit to purchase one of these because they're such a good quality. So, all right, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about what I want to talk about, Kyle, is our show next Wednesday is with Handy Quilter. Now, we don't have any slides to show you or pictures or anything, so I'm just going to kind of tell you what we got going. So Handy Quilter has a 16-inch machine that they've had for years. It was called a Simply 16 long arm quilting machine. Well, it was basically discontinued and they came out with the Moxie line. But we've kind of several different times now that they've had castings that they were able to make us some exclusive models of the Simply 16 that we're able to sell. Well, we didn't think we'd ever get any more of these again. And lo and behold, they found more castings. And that means that when they have a casting, they can build a quilting machine. They are building some more for us right now. We made the deal yesterday. So we have these available to order right now. And we're going to demonstrate them on the show next Wednesday with somebody from Handy Quilter, and we're going to show you all about it. But what I want to tell you about is the Simply 16, and we have it coming with the little foot frame. And we have a price on it at $39.99. That's $3,900. You can get this. And it is a 16-inch long arm quilting machine. That is about the cheapest you're going to be able to get into long arm quilting of that size. It is a fantastic price we have on it. And then for just $500 more, for $44.99, if you want to get the little foot, if you don't want the little foot and you want to get the loft frame, which is an 8-foot frame, a bigger frame, if you have the room, you can get the Simply 16 with that 8-foot loft frame for $44.99. Both are just fantastic models. We also are going to have 4 packages of robotics that you can add to these. We're going to have the Pro Stitcher Lite that you can add to it. And then we have all 3 of the Butler robotic systems that you can add to them too. And we have 2 of them that are going to be under $10,000 to add robotics to them. And then we have the 2 higher end Butler systems. We are just a little over 10,000 that you can get with those. So great packages we put together. We're going to have it on the show next Wednesday. We're going to demonstrate it for you. But if y'all want to get a jump on it right now, get on that phone and call them, and they can sell you one right now. You can't buy it on the website just yet because we haven't even got it up on the web. Kyle's team's working on that today. But you can call and go ahead and get a pre-order right now. And I think they have some already built. They started building them yesterday, so they may be able to even get it shipped out by tomorrow if they get everything done, which I think they're going to have them done. As soon as we made the deal, they started working on them. So again, these are all brand new in box, brand new frames, full warranty. It's just an older model of a quilting machine, Kyle, that we've kind of revamped, and great price point. And Kyle, if you remember back when these were like a full line machine, these were a lot more expensive. Oh, yeah. I mean, these were about $8,000. Yeah. And so to be able to offer you 2 different frame setups at $39.99 and $44.99 is incredible price. And then if you want to add robotics, we have some really great specials on the robotics too. And I mean, this is probably some of the lowest pricing with robotics and stuff we've had in a while. So a great offering today. If all you quilters out there, if y'all been wanting to get a long arm, man, I tell you what, this is a great way to do it. And especially at $44.99, if you wanted to get an 8-foot loft frame, that is going to have a great setup for you. And you can do all your size quilts on that size. It's really a nice machine. Simply 16 is it. So it's a 16-inch throat space. And so has anybody got any questions about that? I know that's kind of a vague description, a lot of it. If you've got any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat right now, and I'll try to answer some of those. But these are, I just worked the deal out with Handy Quilter yesterday on the phone. And this is just we set up a show for next Wednesday. We got everything. It was just kind of a last minute thing. That's why we don't really have any graphics and stuff, but I wanted to share it with you because it's such a great price. and you're going to be able to get on that early and get one of these, because I tell you what, I am so pumped up about this. And I think, you know, we've had them on our show before when we had some more that we were doing that way. But again, fantastic price on it. With that, the little foot frame is about a 5-foot frame. So if you don't have room and you have the room for a 5-foot, you can, you know, start out with that simply with the 5-foot frame, the little foot frame at $39.99 to get in it. But if you have a room for the 8-foot loft, man, $44.99 is a fantastic price to get a, you know, big frame and a great machine. So y'all get on that phone, give them a call, 800-401-8151. We would love to get you set up in one of these, because I'm so excited about it. I hope you are too, about the pricing. It's great. And anyway, we'll have it next Wednesday, and we'll go in a little bit more depth and details on it Wednesday. All right, Kyle, I think it's ready to do some giveaways. Man, thank y'all so much for joining in today. We appreciate y'all being in the SMP Nation. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, man, we would sure appreciate if you just go subscribe to it. Hit that bell notification. It'll always tell you when we have new content. And also, as part of the SMP Nation, go out there and like our Facebook page. We're still, you know, I think we got over 30,000 people on there. We're still trying to grow that channel, and we're always posting things on that. And we'd love for y'all to be part of both of them. And we sure appreciate you being part of the SMP Nation. Hey, and if you got friends out there that sew, you know, quilt or embroidery, hey, invite them to come and join our gang. Because, man, I tell you what, we have a lot of fun here, and always got great content, and always got things to give away, Kyle. So speaking of giveaways, today we are going to give away a $25 gift card to Sewing Machines Plus. So Kyle, spin that wheel. All right, here we go. And the winner is Gail Klein. So congratulations, Gail. Gail's watching today from YouTube. Love your little dog picture there you got for your avatar. And so Gail, to claim that prize, you're going to go to smplive.tv. You're going to scroll down toward the bottom of the page where it says claim my prize. You're going to fill out all that information, complete, hit submit. Once Kyle gets that information, he's going to email you back a gift card code that you can put in at checkout. It'll save you $25 off your purchase. That simple. All right, Kyle, we're going to give away one of our world famous sew mats. We're going to give 2 winners of these today. And we're just basically going to let you have your choice of colors and size. These come in 13 different colors. They're coming 5 sizes now for 3 of the colors. They're basically 4 sizes, but we have a new size, a double XL large, 2X large, for those big machines. We have those in blue, gold, and red. And a lot of these, the blue, gold, and red match machines. You know, they match the Baby Lock and the Brother and the Bernina and Janome. But we have a lot of cool different ones that you can look at. So Kyle, let's spin that wheel. And I always say, if you don't have one of these, you're doing your machine a disservice. I'm telling you, you are. And our winner is Gloria Randall. So congratulations, Gloria. She's watching today from YouTube as well. So Gloria, to claim that prize, you need to go to smplive.tv. Scroll down toward the bottom of the page where it says claim my prize. And most importantly, fill out all that information, but in that little note section, put in what color sew mat you want, what size. And once we get that information, we'll get it out to you. All right, Kyle, let's do one more drawing. We're going to do another sew mat. Fuzzy Face Place, Leah. All right, congratulations. You are our winner. And to claim that prize, go to smplive.tv. Scroll down toward the bottom where it says claim my prize. Fill out all that information complete. And most importantly, Leah, make sure you put in what color, a sew mat, and what size you want in that little note section. And once we get all that information, we'll get both of y'all a sew mat sent out. That's simple. All right, everybody. Thank y'all so much for joining in today. And again, remind y'all about next week, Wednesday, we're going to have a show with Handy Quilter all about the Simply 16. And then Thursday, I'm going to be out, but Belle Bruner's going to be coming in. She's going to host her own show. She's going to do some projects. She's going to talk about a Juki machine. And we're going to have a lot of fun all week next week. Again, hope that y'all have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend, and I'll see y'all next Wednesday.